You know, cross-country cycling really begins today in the French Flanders in the north of France. The first few stages are considered speed flats from Lille to Armentières, where we're headed today, 143 miles to a town that was leveled and then rebuilt after World War I. Chris Boardman's quest to wear the yellow jersey into his home of the United Kingdom will begin on this leg. And you know, Team Gone has promised themselves and Boardman that after the rookie's record prologue victory, he will have a homecoming in yellow. This is one colorful young man. England has a lot to cheer about this year. For only the second time in history, the Tour de France will roll across British soil to commemorate the completion of the English Channel Tunnel. The Brits are also cheering about speedster Chris Boardman, who made history as the second Englishman to wear the yellow jersey in the Tour. Not since Tom Simpson 27 years ago has an Englishman held the maillot jaune. Tragically, Simpson collapsed and later died while climbing Mount Ventoux in 1967, the only fatality ever in the Tour de France. It was Chris Boardman who came from seemingly out of nowhere to win a gold medal in the '92 Olympics and then further stunned the cycling world by shattering the world hour record, riding 32.5 miles per hour. Now, critics were quick to attribute Boardman's success to his expensive Lotus cycle, but in his first professional racing season with Team Gone, he has already won 7 time trials. And with that success comes the hope of his countrymen that Boardman will wear the yellow jersey when the Tour hits England. Going to be a long, hot day in the sun, over 90 degrees now, just north of Lille in the French Flanders. And there's Greg LeMond. You know, he's always done so well here in France. Even though he has hay fever, the pollen has usually peaked. Looks like he's doing pretty well now. Keep going, Greg. Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwin are watching Chris Boardman.
And the rider in the yellow jersey, the eyes of the world are now up on him. And Paul Sherwin, it really does look as though it's going to be a great day.
Yes, Phil, but there's not a breath of wind in the air. The temperature's in the high 20s, and it's still going to be very hot and humid out there. Having ridden 7 Tour de France, I can tell you that these are the days that really sap your strength.
Well, in the opening miles, the main field stayed very much together. The first time bonus sprint came after 36 kilometers at Reims, and Jamaluddin Abdu-Japarov, sharpening his sprinting legs very early on in this year's Tour, wins ahead of Silvio Martinello of Italy and Abraham Olano, the new national champion of Spain. The race then moved on to the first climb of the day, coming at 91 kilometers. That was the Côte d'Avesnes-sur-Helpe, and that was run by the Belgian Peter de Klerk. He won't be there in the big mountains, that's for sure. Eric Zabel of Germany second, and Claudio Chiappucci of Italy taking third. A serious contender he most certainly is for the King of the Mountains. And now the race is rolling along still in a compact group, and in fact the average speed slightly less than 25 miles an hour. Over 3 hours in the saddle. They still have about 2 hours to ride, and they're approaching the town now of Aniche. 157 kilometers covered, and the next time bonus sprint is on the horizon. And we haven't seen anything at all near the front of the bunch all day, Paul, of the yellow jersey Boardman.
But Boardman's been keeping out of trouble and out of the wind at the moment because he really doesn't want to exert too much. And I heard Greg LeMond saying this morning that what we want to do is not have too much pressure in the first couple of days because we really want to defend this jersey of Chris Boardman's in the team time trial, which is in a couple of days' time. He's leaving it up to all the other teams to do the work at the moment. And interestingly enough, it's riders like Jamaluddin Abdu-Japarov who are going for those bonus sprints, and he's no threat to Chris Boardman's overall lead.
And these team riders at the front now, Mepay Class, they're the teammates of Tony Rominger. And Rominger lying third overall, and the Gant team moving the men forward nicely now to try and guard Boardman, to try and watch who will launch the attacks and chase them down if necessary. There's Rominger himself, and you know, Paul, Rominger may well be thinking of a small time bonus here, even at this early stage.
Well, it's very strange, and that is why the Gant team have moved up straight away, and you see just in a little glimpse there of Chris Boardman. This is Eddie Seigneur on the front, and they've realized that there is a danger that one of the riders is trying to get to the front, and there we've got the Swiss rider Yogi Muller on the front here with Rominger. They know the danger, and it is strange to see Rominger actually getting up there and going for these hotspot bonuses, but Chris Boardman's team is very attentive.
It has gone away. Herman Friesen of the Belgian Lotto team, and the Dutchman Jean-Paul van Poppel and Rob Mulders. At one stage they picked up 1 minute and 57 seconds, and here they are now, and the latest time check is going to tell us they are down to 25 seconds. Now the Gant team picked up the chase, and we expected that, but now, Paul, the Polti team have also come in on the act.
Well, that's an obvious move for them. They've got Jamaluddin Abdujaparov in their ranks, and he's the man. If they can keep this field together and get that group back into the fold, he's the man who could walk away with victory today, because it's a superb finish for him. It's a little bit dangerous when you come round the town here of Armentières, and so it's the team now of the sprinters that will want to bring it back together. There isn't an earnest chase now. That's because just down the road they can see the 3 breakaways.
Well, we always talk about Miguel Indurain, the winner of the Tour de France for the past 3 years, taking it easy on these mass start stages and waiting for the time trials in the mountains. But if you look now to the centre of your picture, the man in the green jersey there, that is Miguel Indurain. He has been riding very close to Chris Boardman throughout the day, and now he's taking a keen interest in the pursuit. And you know there is a bonus of 20 seconds on the line today. If Indurain were to win, he would take the yellow jersey.
He definitely would, but I don't think he will try and take the stage, because it is so dangerous around the town here. Indurain is just riding at the front to be safe and to keep out of trouble. We heard just a little bit earlier of a crash with 15 riders going down when they went through a town. So that's the reason Indurain is staying near to the front. Another rider who's very close to the front there also is Claudio Chiappucci, and I keep getting glimpses of Tony Rominger. So all the leading riders of this Tour de France at the moment staying near to the front to stay out of danger. But the GAN team still keeping the tempo up a little bit, but it's not the chase they had to do before to close down that 1 minute and 50-second gap.
The GAN team are very experienced riders. They haven't lost their head when an attack came, and at one stage Herman Friesen was the new leader of the Tour de France on the road. He began today 46 seconds behind Chris Boardman, and once they went out to almost 2 minutes, he could be rest assured of a yellow jersey at the finish. But that's changing rapidly now.
Another team that I think will soon start to come to the front and help the GAN team is the Novimai team. You can see them in the blue jersey with a yellow streak down there. Just at the bottom of the picture you can see Wilfred Nellison, who that's him there in the Belgian national champions jersey. He just took that title on the Sunday before the Tour de France, and they would really like to help now and get that group back into the fold so that Nellison also could dispute the finish.
You know, of the 21 stages here on the Tour de France, 12 of them are on the plains or on the flats like this, and Boardman, currently wearing the yellow jersey, even though he likes these conditions, says this could be the toughest course in the last 10 years. Take a look at the main body of bikers, or the peloton, closing in and then catching the attackers up at the front of the pack. This is going to set up a great finish now, almost similar to the last 2 minutes of an NBA game. The referees will turn their heads. Anything can happen, and anything goes. Now to Phil Liggett and Paul Sherwood with the final call of the race.
And Olaf Ludwig is up here. He's a great sprint finisher and also a former winner of the green jersey competition. And the big fear for me is the fast finishing Laurent Jalabert of the Spanish Once team. But he's a Frenchman.
Incredible rides this year by Laurent Jalabert. He won 7 stages of the Tour of Spain earlier in the season. He was almost undefeatable in the sprints, and he actually went on to win one of the big mountaintop finishes by a lone breakaway. 2 kilometers to go. Motte at the front here, absolutely burying himself. He's going to try and keep the speed up if he can to the last kilometer. Then the second man in the line will take over. You see Motte is still swinging over to get a good line round these corners, and all the time these riders are vying for position. It really is dangerous out there. Just one touch of the brakes and you can lose 15 places.
1 mile to go to the finish, inside the 2 kilometer mark now, and again Nellison doesn't really want to get there. He's looking for more wheels to follow. It's too soon, he knows it. He's being crowded now by the boys in pink. That is the German Telekom team bringing through their sprinters Uwe Raab and Olaf Ludwig, and Nellison's going to have to now prove he can beat them in the big sprint finish, because he's being slowly pushed away down on the insides. Telekom take up the running. This is going to be a powerful finish for this team. They need a good result too. Although Telekom have said they're going to carry on sponsoring this team, and I think that has done the morale on this squad the world of good.
Well, that was, I think, a little bit of too much work too soon for the Novimai team. They did a great job closing down on those 3 breakaways, but now you can see the Telekom team have come up. They've swapped the front. They've taken over the job of keeping the speed high, and they've got now just about 1 kilometer to go. Ludwig's going to be very close there. Now they're coming down into the streets of Armentières. It's going to be a real fight all the way to the line.
Well, I think we've got the young German Gerd Ordheim setting the pace here. Now he's done his bit and dropped off. We've got Ludwig up here too in second place now. And the Novimai are still trying to bring their man through, and they're going for the line, and they're bringing Nellison through now. It's a shoulder-to-shoulder action, this one. And Jamaluddin Abdul-Jabbarov is here. He's on the wheel of Nelson. He's come from absolutely nowhere. And now it's going to be for Nelson to lead out, and Abdul-Jabbarov swinging to the right. This is going to be a shoulder-to-shoulder battle now. Nelson goes on the left. The rest are following. Martinelli is here too for the Polti team as they come up towards the line. Nelson is taking... Oh, and they've gone! They've gone one after the other. They've hit the barriers. Nelson was not looking where he was going. That was a disaster on the line there, as I think the victory has gone to Team Polti and Abdul-Jabbarov, and certainly it was not the fault of Abdul-Jabbarov. Nelson himself, who has already broken his collarbone this year with a big crash, was on his comeback, hit the barriers on the inside in the sprint, and that was that. Jamaluddin Abdul-Jabbarov has gone through to win the stage. Now let's have a look again on the left of our picture here as they came so close on the barrier. There is a policeman standing tightly on the left of our picture. This is Nelson putting his head down. Now there's the policeman looking at the situation as the riders go straight at him and they collide with the policeman. Jalabert goes down very, very heavily up there, upside down completely, leaving Abdul-Jabbarov on the left and Olaf Ludwig taking second place. And now we can see again the policeman appears to be taking a photograph there as the rider hits him full force. And then the sprinters come away and Abdul-Jabbarov gets his first stage win of the Tour de France, again under controversial circumstance, but at least it was not his fault this time.
Wow. We will have updates on the injuries as soon as they come available, Phil. Abdul-Jabbarov wins the green jersey, first across the line, best sprinter here today. Overall, Chris Boardman still hangs on to the yellow jersey by 15 seconds over Miguel Indurain.